realized that sculpting was your calling?
So I think I was a lot into drawing, and I have a lot of like technical abilities when it comes to drawing and painting, because this is essentially what we are taught as Indian art students, and these are the basics of knowing how to make art. And then after going to college, did I for the first time realize that I'm not a two-dimensional thinker at all. I can't draw, I can't conceptually think of a painting or anything like that. I'm just good at replication using my skill set, and that's not anything. That wasn't doing anything for me. Then I took my first ceramics class, and then it was just love at first sight. And
I can imagine.
Yeah.
Because you're great.
No, thank you. But literally, ceramics was like everything for me. Like when I think now, it just flows out of me, and I understand how that happens for other people when they paint or draw. But for me, it was.
So this was your medium. You found your calling in terms of what feels right.
Exactly.
What did it take to reach the place you're at today, both as a person and as an artist?
I think that the job of an artist is as personal as it is professional. So with some cases, we oftentimes tell people that, oh, don't look at this as the person who's behind it, think of it separate of the person. I think with art, it should always be the opposite. So if you remove the artist from the work, then that whole process, that chain is then broken. It's redundant. So I think for me, my work is a reflection of me, the work, and I'm a reflection of the work. So I think like those two things go hand in hand, and finding my practice has helped me develop as a person in every other avenue of my life. And if I didn't have that, I think I would probably have a lot of mental health issues too. To be very honest, like I need this to sustain me.
So this is something that you actually find comforting when you do this.
Yeah, 100%. Like for me, it's like waking up and brushing your teeth, right? You don't think about it. It's the same way. I have to come to my studio and work. I feel like even a day's work lost is like, oh my god, I missed out. And it's just my incessant need to be here.
What are the important themes or references that you usually incorporate in your art?
I have been very drawn to this idea of normalizing gender and sexuality, and having done my undergrad in Chicago at SAIC, I felt like I wanted to say all these things, but I wasn't represented in my audience. So I had to first educate my audience to then tell them what I'm trying to say, which is like a backward way of working. So I knew like second year into college that I am going to go backward and make art there, because that is where it's relevant, that is where my story, my history is relevant. At least in the beginning. Once you've made a name, your art has spoken for itself.
Then you're traveling all around.
Yeah, then I want my work to spread. But in the beginning, it's important to do what I'm doing here. And this idea of normalizing gender and sexuality was important to me because I see it so openly existing in our country. It's been a part of our history. It's been a part of our nature, even innate nature. But we choose to see it as an external Western influence. No, it's not really. It's always existed. Like, my work is not sexual, it is not sexy, it is about sexuality. And it is about normalizing it. So when you look up close at these pieces, you'll find like little elements, visual elements that resemble genitalia or human body forms that are woven into the architecture of the works. So it's not something that you would at first glance even notice in these environments.
Like they just look so pretty and cute and fun.
And like interactive. Exactly. And it's all these like joyful, cheerful ideas and cheerful execution of all these maybe serious ideas. So I think that is kind of like where I really wanted to be.
So what do you do when you have any creative blocks? Do you have any?
I'm always reluctant to answer this question because I hate my answer to this question, which is I don't have any creative blocks.
That's fine.
Yeah, it is what it is.
That's fine, because again, I think you don't have creative because you're not pre-deciding what it is. That's your process.
To some extent it is though. Like depends on the scale I'm working. With the small work it is very decisive. Like if I'm making a tree, it's going to be a tree with a detail inside it on top of it. Moving elements, like there will be a plan in my head. But with the large work it's more free. So if at times I'm just not feeling like working on that thing, I'll just start something else. Or I'll start on a different aspect of the piece. I oftentimes tell people like if they're having a creative block, just get up and go to the place where you create. Even just sitting there and not doing anything is doing something. And eventually you're going to get out of it, or just try and pick up a different material. Like if you're a painter and you just can't get yourself to paint, then try your hands at clay. Even if whatever you end up with is nothing, it will give you that information to take back to your painting practice and help you inform that. Absolutely. Like, I think I would go crazy if I stopped. I am definitely that person who needs to do 10 things in the day to feel like, okay, I had a good day today. So if I stop suddenly, I think I'd like malfunction and like burst or something. I don't know what will happen to me if I just stop suddenly.
I think that's why also you do multiple things.
You know it, like the pandemic was actually the reason why my other side gigs began, because I had no access to my studio and I had all this creative energy that I needed to channel one way or the other. And then that's how my vegan baking happened. Everyone was DMing me like, are you selling this or what? Like, are you just trying to tempt us here? What's going on? So I said, no, I'm selling everything. I'll sell it. So that's basically how my vegan baking business situation began. And then I have always been into fitness and training, so a lot of my friends were struggling with just being stuck at home, not having access to their trainers, to gyms, and they were like, how do we stay active? So then I was like, okay, I'll train you. So that's basically how that also kind of happened. So I was anyway dedicating time to do those things in my day, only for myself, and now I get to share it with others. That's how I like to look at it.
Chosen a rather unique and unconventional sort of profession, right? But going into sculpture, like, was there any backlash? And how did you like sort of have your own courage to go for what you love?
I didn't know what else I could do if I was not making ceramic sculptures. So I have had self-doubt in the sense that will I ever make it, but I have had zero self-doubt about do I want to do something else. And I think that self-belief is what will get you one step further. And then the next thing I would say, yes, I've had a lot of people be like, oh, you have a skill set to paint and draw, so why don't we just do that? But I don't want to do that. I was extremely defined and I wanted it to be ceramics and I wanted it to be non-functional ceramics. So yeah, there has been backlash and people have always been like, why do you want to sculpt? Oh, this will break. Oh, where can we put this in our house? Oh, how do we keep it? And I'm like, ceramics has like been a way to study prior civilizations. So if you maintain the piece and you keep it safe, nothing is going to happen to it for 10 generations to come. A painting might fade, but my ceramics will be fine. The colors will not fade, nothing is going to happen to it, no cracks, nothing at all.
Yeah, you can just wash it.
Just hose it down with water. That's the simplest way to do it.
So you're also so passionate about cooking and fitness. So how do you balance it all?
No, that's a great question, and it brings me back to this idea of prioritizing, right? Yes, my sculpture practice is important, but I'm not going to stop my other things to kind of promote one thing. If I've chosen to do these three things, then I'm going to try and find a way to make all of them work in a way that I'm being also mindful of not overworking myself. Because I don't want to be burnt out. Because all of these require a lot of physical energy. Like in the kitchen, I'm physically cooking. When I'm training, I'm talking through every workout. When I train someone, I'm doing the whole workout with them while training. And then in the studio, it's again a very physical process. It's also very hot in the studio. So I need to be careful that I'm not just like overexerting my body. So if I don't have the time to bake you a cake, I will give you a recipe and you can make it as well. I've also, each time I take a step back and I think, what would be the best way for me to maximize my time? Also be mindful that I'm not overdoing myself. So if you're allotting say 1 hour a day for your baking, are you going to use this to do a class? Are you using this to like maybe start up your own business, your own bakery, like your home bakery? Like find a voice, like find a channel. Don't try to do 10 things within one thing. Because then you will be even more split. And then people will be like, oh, so you're doing a little bit of this, little bit of that, little bit of that. And there's no one focused end goal. Just like a business plan, really. Make a business plan even for something that's just an idea. Have something chalked out for you. The aimless navigation of life is what ends up with you being in an even more lost place.
What advice would you give to young artists or sculptors who are just starting out?
Now this is going to sound very Indian of me, but I'm okay with that. You need skills. Don't start something because you have a concept and you have it's okay if you don't have a formal education in it. You can literally look it up on YouTube and learn something from YouTube. You don't need to do a fancy art degree in something to learn.
Definitely.
But you need to know how to make. Especially if you're a sculptor, you need to be able to make it with your own hands. Don't get a welder to do your welding. Don't get a woodshop person to make your entire piece for you. Like some aspect of your material, understand the material first. Then learn how to make or build or construct with some aspect of that material. And then yes, if you want to bring in more people to help you out, that's totally fine. Like at the end of the day, you want to get visibility in your work, you want to produce more. If it's taking you like 6 months to make one like table, say like a table looking thing rather, then maybe you want to get in help and like expedite that process, which is fine. But understand how to make first, then do that.
Yeah,
then
because as long as you are guiding that person on how to do it, it's still you.
Yeah, exactly.
Otherwise, it's their work. Really.
Yeah, exactly. And you are the one, and you also know how to do it.
Yeah.
Like you have to know how to do some.
Know. Yeah.
70 to 80% of that thing you should know how to do, I would say, minimum. Then the rest is okay. In the future, even if you don't touch the piece at all, and someone else is constructing it completely, it's fine. It's your concept. You have that ownership. But start with a place of knowledge. Start with education. Whether it is in an institution or on YouTube, or even on Instagram or Snapchat or whatever you want to use.
Yeah. How do you communicate with your clothes?
Yeah, well, it's like I described ＡROKA. It's sexy and comfortable. I like both. Both are very important. So in the studio, my sets can be interchanged. It can turn into a shirt and a crop top situation, or it can be just a shirt. Comfort has to be first because I need to be able to breathe in these clothing, in whatever I'm wearing, because it's really hot and it's not the ideal like climatic situation. I like to prioritize comfort, yes, but I like it to be stylized. So I'll try and like focus on where am I going, is it going to be comfortable for me, am I going to, the beginning of my day and the end of my day, I should be able to sustain this look. I shouldn't be like good for the first 20 minutes and my face is melting and I am melting and my clothes are looking wilted. Like that is important for me, like the wearing of the outfit as well as the look of it and the comfort. So I try to make sure that all those things are in sync.
When you worn our garments, what did you feel like? Like how did ＡROKA make you feel?
Well, I just feel so comfortable and I know that I'm also looking good. You know, it's the knowledge of having both that just feels like it's the best match. And I know that like what I'm wearing is unique. I know that it's handmade, it's not mass produced, it's not H&M or Zara or any of these other like controversial brands out there. So I think all these things kind of make me feel even comfortable knowing that the knowledge of where this is coming from, it's okay. This is going to be good for the environment. We're doing something good for the world while making ourselves feel good wearing it. And that's why I bought so many things from you guys. I love it. I literally feel like so comfortable in it. I can wear it out in the day if I'm just like going sightseeing somewhere. I can wear it in my studio. I can go out in the night like for a party, just dress it up a little bit. It's so flexible.
You can like style it because everything is also a separate.
Exactly. So, and then you also have the option of making your own sets. You can mix and match and like so many different options and varieties. And it's just lovely. Yeah. You know I love it.